sounds like the Senate is going to pass an ESA's bill today.
Yes.
It's pretty ambitious. The governor has already signed a bill expanding charter schools.
But the possibility of having a virtual charter school in every county, so that's a possibility of 57 charter schools.
Let me know if Erica's there. It's always possible she'll forget, so I won't introduce her until I know she's there.
sunflower seeds is the perfect choice for your feathered friends and will keep them coming back. Right now, just $9.99 after 11% rebate. Stop waiting and start saving today on everything you need at Menards. Prices are good until March 20th. Savings are mail-in rebate. Some exclusions apply. See store for details.
Save big money at Menards.
For all of your IT needs, visit OmniPerforms.com. Omni Strategic Technologies, the only IT company that the watchdog trusts.
Washington County's largest gun show is back on Saturday and Sunday, April 10th and 11th from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. at the Washington County Fairgrounds. Admission is just $7, and kids under 12 get in free with an adult. Everyone is welcome. They offer free appraisals and have great prices on all types of firearms, modern, military, and antique. They have over 450 tables with cash buyers on site for your used guns. Visit arhsportshop.com or call 724-948-3571 for more information. That's 724-948-3571 for more information. That's Washington County Gun Show, presented by ARH Sports Shop, April 10th and 11th.
Hello, everyone. From the Watchdog, I'm the Storm Tracker, Darnell Foster, with a look at your local weather forecast for your Thursday. Mostly cloudy, periods of rain through the day, heavy at times. Daytime high near 56. Overnight low down to about 32 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. You'll see mostly cloudy conditions around for your Friday with a high near 50 degrees. Have yourself a great day, everyone. From the Watchdog, I'm Darnell Foster.
The views and opinions expressed on the following program are not necessarily those of this station or its sponsors.
News, information, conversation, controversy, and fun. This is the Watchdog Morning Show with Howard Monroe.
48 degrees at the Wheeling, Ohio County Airport, and it is raining pretty good outside right now. Going to be that way all day long. Good soaking rain much of the day today, some lingering into tomorrow morning, but other than that, we're going to have a great stretch of beautiful weather after we get past today and early tomorrow. Coming up today here on the Watchdog Morning Show, Wheeling Council members continue expressing frustration with this week's personal attacks over the MOU, Memorandum of Understanding, that has been set up with Bluefield State College. Councilman Dave Palmer among those to join us to offer his thoughts coming up today. Vaccines are becoming more prevalent. We have more vaccine available locally and in the state. But Governor Justice says there are lots of eligible people who just aren't getting them yet. We'll talk about that. West Virginia Delegate Cody Thompson introducing a package of bills mirroring what the GOP is doing. He'll explain what he calls and what the West Virginia Can't Wait people call the New Deal to us. Coming up shortly, Ohio County Delegate Erica Storch will be dropping by. I just want to get her assessment on how the session has gone. We haven't had a chance to talk with Erica throughout much of this session. We'll get her thoughts on the governor's tax plan, plus in general, what's been happening down in Charleston during the whole session. So that's what I've got. If you've got something for me, you know what to do. 304-214-1600. 304-214-1600. That's our Watchdog Radio Network text line. Feel free to use it if you'd like to. I'm happy to get your texts and share them with the audience. Most of the time, I'm happy to share them with the audience. Sometimes I just ignore you, but most of the time I will share them with you. So feel free to text me, 304-214-1600. And hello to those of you watching us on Facebook Live Video. The Facebook Live video feed is on my Facebook page. It is on the Watchdogs Facebook page. You can find it on our YouTube channel. It's the Watchdog YouTube channel. And of course, it always resides at watchdognetwork.com, where you can check out the video as well. I do ask you, if you are watching us on Facebook Live, to like and share us. All right, hit the like button, then the share button, just so other people can tune in and listen as well. Like and share off of the Facebook Live video feed. And to those of you there, hello, nice to see you. I appreciate it. Nothing exciting happens in our video because it's just me in the studio, in my home studio. Did we put, oh no, I thought we were putting I thought I was hanging something new this weekend. We didn't get it hung up yet. I got a couple new things to hang up on the wall behind me, but you can't see them yet because I haven't hung them up yet. 8:12 in the morning here on the Watchdog Morning Show. If you get a ticket to go to a concert, for example, and you get sick and you can't go, what do you have to do with that ticket?
Well, you either find somebody to give it to, or you're stuck with it.
Exactly. Apparently, some restaurants in England are doing the same thing. They say that because of the pandemic, business has been so bad, as they begin to reopen now, even partially reopen, they're telling customers they have to pay before they eat. Now, we're used to doing that at a drive-thru, I guess, but they have to pay before they eat. They say their new policy is apparently a response from owners worrying about people making reservations and then not showing up. So one of the restaurant owners said that his venue will serve a 10-course tasting menu, and payments have to be made up front. But he says it's like getting a ticket to a theater. If you can't go to dinner, give your ticket to your friend. Man, I don't know that I'd like that at all. I mean, sometimes my desire changes, right? Sometimes I think, I'm going to go to the West Sports Bar and then decide, I'm not going to. I understand it creates a problem for me, but geez, I hate to have to pay for it ahead of time. You know what I'm saying, Biffy?
Yeah. I mean, so they're basically telling you better be sure that you're going to go here or you're in trouble.
Yep, I absolutely agree. All right, it's 8:14 after the hour here on the Watchdog Morning Show. Have we heard from Erica yet?
Still waiting.
All right, Delegate Storch from time to time she gets really busy down there, and I've had, and this is not a criticism, it's not a complaint, it's just on a number of occasions I've had a tough time getting through to her. We will take care of some business. We'll come back. Either Erica will be with us, or I want to talk about the latest out of Charleston with our Capitol report. That's coming up next here on the Watchdog Morning Show. We're at 48 degrees and rainy at 8:15.
Listen to the Bill DeFabio Variety Show.
Yeah, but I haven't got anything back yet. It's not unusual, so I'm okay with that. There's a clip, a SoundCloud clip inside a Metro News story about ESAs. Senate passes ESA bill is the headline on it. There is a clip with Dale Lee. I may use a little bit of that if we have some time here. It's inside the story. Senate passes ESA's bill. Governor lets teachers strike bill be law without signature. Yeah, I won't play the whole thing probably, but I'll play part of it. If we don't get Erica, though, what I will do is I will start with that, and then we'll go to the Capitol report after that. Yep. If you want to, Brad does an intro where he asks the question. If you want to try and skip past that, you can do that. If you want to just let the question go, that's okay too. Okay, works for me. It's like live radio that way.
Call me today for an all-cash offer on any of your properties, and we can close within days at 614-362-2000, 362-2000. Do you own a property that's outdated and needs thousands of dollars in repairs? Great, I'll buy it. I'm a private real estate investor who can solve your real estate problems fast for cash. Do you want to sell and just be done with it? Okay, great. I buy vacant properties, boarded up houses, pre-foreclosures, and inherited properties. I also buy apartment buildings, rental portfolios, divorce homes. I even buy my tenant won't pay me the rent houses. I look forward to solving your real estate problems today. Give me a call for an all-cash offer at 614-362-2000, 614-362-2000.
Yorkville. The Watchdog is protecting your yard. Join Howard Monroe, Hoppy Kercheval, Bill DeFabio, and Big Rick for the best live and local talk in the Upper Ohio Valley and beyond. Yorkville trusts the Watchdog.
Miss a part of the show? Want to hear a segment again? Check out our podcast page at watchdognetwork.com. The Watchdog Morning Show with Howard Monroe continues.
48 degrees and raining in the Ohio Valley. It's 8:18, 18 minutes after the hour on our Thursday edition of the show. Education's been a big part of the legislative session this year. Charter schools, school vouchers, a number of other, the teacher strike bill, and so on. Both houses of the legislature have now passed a bill that would divert public dollars for students leaving public schools to go to private school or to go to homeschooling. So that's been passed by both houses of the legislature. And the governor let go into law without his signature yesterday a bill clarifying that strikes against the state by public employees, including teachers, are unlawful. Now, that's sort of been the standard anyway, but this legislature wanted to nail that down and make sure that it was there. So they passed a bill saying clearly that teacher strikes are illegal. It passed both houses, and the governor is going to not sign it, but he's going to let it go into effect without his law. Add that all up, and the teachers' unions are saying this session has been payback. This has been a legislative session designed to get retribution on the teachers, who of course did go on strike a couple years ago, who have removed a couple of legislators from office at the ballot box by being aggressively opposed to them. Dale Lee is, of course, the president of the WVEA. Our buddy Brad McElhenney collared Dale Lee yesterday in the corridors of the Capitol to ask him about all of these anti-educator bills.
Sounds like the Senate is going to pass an ESA's bill today.
Yes.
It's pretty ambitious. The governor has already signed a bill expanding charter schools. Mm-hmm. And it sounds like he may allow to go into law a bill clarifying that striking among public employees against the state, including teachers, is illegal. What's your view of those things?
It's been a retaliatory session. And for the governor and the state superintendent to continually to say that virtual schools haven't worked and they're not working, and then to expand them to the point where not only now you can have two statewide, but the possibility of having a virtual charter school in every county. So that's a possibility of 57 charter schools in West Virginia. That's just unbelievable to me. It's the wrong thing to do. We should be focusing on public education, and his desire, the governor's desire, was to get kids in the classroom. To allow this virtual option simply blows my mind. The strike bill, we've known since 1990 that strikes were illegal. When you're pushed to a point, you're willing to anticipate the consequences and still make that decision. I made it in 1990. Educators made it in 2018 and again in 2019. And when it gets to the point, they'll make that decision again. Having a law that says strikes are illegal is redundant because you knew that. We knew that.
Do you believe the ESA's bill would initially and then even more later on move public dollars out of the education system?
Absolutely. It's in the beginning, it's going to take $23 million out of public education. But when you add the private and homeschoolers, you're looking at another $110 million. So that money has to come from somewhere in the budget. It's going to come from the education budget. It will take money away from public schools. It's the wrong message to send in this session. But this session has been about, let's see what we can do to try to destroy public education.
What's the recourse for educators who may be upset about this? Go to the ballot box in 2022?
Yeah, I mean, that's, we know elections have consequences. But what amazes me is that even though we could disagree on candidates and people running for office, once they get elected, they should be here for all West Virginians, not to punish some who didn't agree with them in the election.
Dale Lee, the president of the WVEA, chatting with our buddy Brad McElhenney on the floor of the Capitol yesterday. We haven't heard much from the floor of the Capitol because normally Brad just sits at home and watches on the Zoom video and so on, and so do most of the other reporters because the Capitol's essentially been closed down. So Dale Lee says it's retribution. The thing about both the ESA bill and the charter school bill is they are both considered to be the biggest, broadest, most expansive bills of their type in the country. Even people who support ESA, school vouchers, and even people who support the charter schools say that these particular bills are really dangerous because of the size and scope of them. And the problem for the state of West Virginia is going to be calculating how much they're going to cost. What is that ESA bill going to cost? They're talking $23 million first year, but they're talking up to $100 million as time goes by. Where's that money coming from? Where's that money coming from? And there's just not been a lot of thought about it. And the money is going to go out of public education into private education or even into homeschooling. Public money should be for public education. To me, it's as simple as that. The Constitution insists, the West Virginia Constitution insists that we have what's the word, fair and equitable system of public education. I forget the exact constitutional phrase, but setting up a public education system is a mandate of our state constitution. Public education system, not private system. You want to go to a private school, that's fine, you're welcome to go, but don't take public dollars along with you. Most private schools do offer scholarships and other ways for you to get in there if you choose to. But public money should go to public schools. It's a language issue, if nothing. It's simple. Public money, public schools. And it's going to cost more and more and more as time goes by, unless something is done. And again, as I mentioned, even the people who support school vouchers nationwide, and even people who support charter schools nationwide, are saying West Virginia's bills are the most expansive and most expensive in the country and have serious potential for problems. We'll continue to follow the impact. It's a done deal now. We'll continue to follow the impact of it as time goes by. 8:25 after the hour here on the Watchdog Morning Show. Let's see what else they're working on down in Charleston. Here's our morning Capital Report with Jeff.
This is the Metro News Capital.
incorporated into the analysis for allocating caseworkers across the state. And lastly, a survey of the salaries and benefits in neighboring states.
I'm Jeff Jenkins on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
And continuing coverage of what's happening down in Charleston today, beginning at 10:06, statewide talk line. Hoppy Kircher will have all of the latest from the Capitol. I wonder if Hoppy's feeling antsy that he can't get down there. You know, Hoppy Kircher will always broadcast from the Capitol. I used to do it on a regular basis. Last couple of years, we didn't get down there. Obviously, last year was because of the pandemic, too. But, you know, Hoppy's got to feel antsy sitting in his studio having to cover things from afar, because he loved, I mean, that's what Hoppy loved to do, was to be down there and wander the hallways and corral people and wave them over to the talk line booth and sit in on the hearings and the meetings and so on. I bet it's got to really be bugging him. He can't get down there and see it. And the question is, why can't we get down there? Students are back in school 5 days a week. Governor has opened up retail stores and bars and establishments to regular 100% capacity. Why in the world? The only things that seem to be still restricted are the governor's press conferences and the Capitol, where there's no public hearings, there's no public involvement, there's no public oversight. There's even very smaller than usual, littler than usual, less than usual, less than usual. Oversight by the press, simply because the press is kind of watching this from afar on Zoom and video feeds and so on. Some of them down there, but Stephen Adams, our buddy, is there every day. He sits way, way up high in the gallery. If you ever see some pictures, he's way at the top watching things.
He's with the where the free riders were.
That's exactly right. You're right, Biffy. He's up there where the free riders were only a few years ago. All right, continuing coverage of the Capitol here on this show and, of course, on Hoppy's show. It's 8:30. We're going to shift our gears back to the city of Wheeling and that very tense, angry council meeting this week having to do with the local colleges being distressed by a memorandum of understanding agreed to between the city of Wheeling and Bluefield State College. I want to point out it's a non-binding memorandum of understanding, meaning there's nothing that has been set in stone. There's no cost associated with it. It's just an agreement to talk about whether or not they can work together. But boy, oh boy, was it nasty at council this week. Really nasty. Dave Palmer has some thoughts on that, councilman from the 6th Ward, and he'll be with us coming up next here on the Watchdog Morning Show.
The WTRF Channel 7 News Update is brought to you by Thomas Auto Centers, Mall Road, St. Clairsville. Get the best deal at Thomas Auto Centers.
Now it's time.
Well, let's hope that Dave is here, because I'm running out of things to talk about. I hope you're right. He's usually pretty good. Erica, I'm not complaining, but she often forgets. Oh, did you? You know, they've got a lot of they have more vaccine available than people who are trying to get the shots. Now, there are plenty of people who need them, but they haven't gotten them. One day this week, Jonathan, my son, who works for the health department, he said, "Dad, you know anybody who needs a shot?" Hold on a second. Oh, okay. Thank you, John. John McCabe is reminding us that we're live on Facebook when you and I talk. Good point, John. Thank you very much. But I was not complaining about Erica. I wasn't. She just sometimes forgets. So I'll just leave it at that. Thank you, John. Appreciate that. Always got to be reminded. People are listening. Yeah. All right. Hopefully we'll get Dave coming up next.
At Dirty Paws WHG or call 304-639-7754.
Add a little excitement to your sports watching experience by betting all the action on FanDuel Sportsbook. There's a reason why FanDuel is America's #1 sportsbook. Their app is simple to use. They've got great odds on all different betting markets, unique, fun bet types like same-game parlay, and exclusive always-on promotions such as Enhanced Odds Boost, and the biggest events to let you get more action out of every game day. And if you win, they get you your winnings safely in as little as 24 hours. It's easy to use, easy to register, easy to deposit, and easy to find your bet. They have odds boosts and specials every day with some super boost each weekend. Right now, FanDuel is letting you place your first bet risk-free up to $1,000. Just place your first bet on anything and FanDuel will refund up to $1,000 back in site credit if you don't win. Just place a bet on the NBA, college basketball, tennis, or golf. You name it, and if you win, you keep the cash. If you lose, they'll get you your entire bet back up to $1,000 in site credit. If you've never tried FanDuel Sportsbook, what are you waiting for? Download the FanDuel Sportsbook app to get started, and be sure to sign up with promo code RICK so they know I sent you. That's FanDuel Sportsbook, promo code RICK. Must be 21 and over, present in PA, West Virginia. First online, real money wager only. Site credit is non-withdrawable and expires in 14 days. Restrictions do apply. See sportsbook.fanduel.com for details. Gambling problem in West Virginia? Visit 1-800-GAMBLER.net.
Wake up to the Ohio Valley's favorite morning show, The Watchdog Morning Show with Howard Monroe. Weekday morning, 7 to 10 a.m. Only on The Watchdog.
Over the years, you've brought opioids into your home. They helped when you were in pain, and you held on to them just in case. But holding on to opioids puts your family at risk. Learn more at www.fda.gov/drug disposal.
Imagine yourself in a Toyota, like a new 21 Highlander or the all-new 21 Sienna, both with $1,500 cash back. Or check out a new 21 RAV4 and take up to $1,250 cash back. Or a new 21 Camry with up to $1,750 cash back. Visit buyatoyota.com for more deals, local inventory, and to find a dealer near you. You can take cash back or apply toward down payment. Offers vary for hybrid models and exclude TRD models. See your dealer for details. Ready, set, go get your Toyota today. Offers end March 31st. Toyota.
My little girl hurt her foot and needed a doctor fast, but her physician wasn't available, and I wanted her seen as soon as possible. Then I remembered the Wheeling Hospital Urgent Care.
Oh, okay. I was just getting ready to do something else. Good. That's good. All right. Thank you.
A pharmacy and lab draw station. No appointments needed, and convenient parking is nearby. Wheeling Hospital Urgent Care. They'll take good care of you.
Hi, this is Shauna Johnson from Metro News, just one of the contributors to the Watchdog Morning Show with Howard Monroe. Listen and stay informed every weekday right here.
From the West Virginia Broadcasting Hall of Fame, directly to you. This is the Watchdog Morning Show with Howard Monroe, brought to you in part by Wheeling Hospital.
Well, I got the sense this week that a lot of members of Wheeling City Council aren't ready to back down in the face of some personal attacks and some serious criticism leveled by the three local colleges and universities, West Liberty, Wheeling University, and West Virginia Northern Community College. The three of them together were at council this week raising some objections to the MOU, Memorandum of Understanding with Bluefield State. It was the words of Dr. Mosser at West Virginia Northern that they all kind of got behind. They all Jenny Fava gave all of her time to Dr. Mosser to speak, and Dr. Evans from West Liberty gave a good bit of his time to Dr. Mosser to speak. Mosser was extremely, was angry. He was, a lot of personal attacks, very aggressive. The friends and family plan, we've talked about that before, claiming that it's going to cost the city millions of dollars a year to work with Bluefield State, and the city should have an obligation to support the local institutions, not an out-of-state institution. Certainly listening to the mayor and vice mayor yesterday on their own show here on the Watchdog, they were disappointed and quite frankly a bit angry at what they heard. And I've been trying to get a sense of what the other council members think as well, and I have a feeling that Dave Palmer wasn't happy with what he heard either. Were you, Dave?
Not at all, Howard. Not at all. I mean, let me start by saying I have the utmost respect for West Virginia Northern, Wheeling University, and West Liberty University. But what happened Tuesday night is nothing like I've seen in almost my 4.5 years on council, plus all the years that I attended council meetings prior to that as the president of the firefighters union. I've never seen anything like that.
Speaking as one who was a reporter for a long time covering council and now watching it on a regular basis too, I have to say it was the angriest, most vitriolic. I found it very vile, to be honest with you. Sometimes I got the sense that Dr. Mosser felt like he was, I hate to say it this way, but that he was ranting on Fox News, you know? I mean, it was just that vitriol that was coming out. And I understand what's at the basis of their distress, but the personal attacks, I think, went way, way too far.
The personal attacks went way, way too far. The fake news that he put out there about the numbers that we've promised, we have not promised anything. And if he has proof of such, then he should provide that. But we have not provided any commitment to a financial assistance to this proposed project.
Well, Dr. Mosser says that that the city already plans to, in one way or another, build out some of that OVMC property for Bluefield State to the tune, I think he said, of $1.5 million, and I don't have the numbers here in front of me, but also give them reduced or no rent, and it would cost the city taxpayers at least a couple $1 million a year. I think I'm right in what he had to say. Is there anything to that at all? Are those numbers out there somewhere? Are they in that memorandum of understanding? Are they in consideration at least right now? Or are they, I mean, where do the numbers come from? Surely he didn't just make them up out of nowhere.
Well, that's the first I've heard of the numbers. Now, with every, rent, lease, purchase that goes on, there's always some give and take. But there's never been a negotiated that I'm aware of, and the city manager clarified that there's not been a negotiation of numbers with Bluefield State. So that just tells me that he pulled them out of the air. They can ask for a lot of things, as most people do. But what we can provide, those are two different things. So, I kept using the words shocked and embarrassed from what happened the other night. To make the personal attacks, to, which were, again, falsehood claims, to throw out numbers that, sometimes it becomes gospel once it gets out there in the media. It's just unfair. And my biggest challenge personally, I challenge the West Virginia the West Virginia Northern Community College Board of Governors. Is this the person that you want running your college? This is, by the term president, it demands respect, and, give that respect. However, you just can't come in and make up lies and falsehoods and attack the local elected officials. It's just beyond me. I never expected that. I expect some kind of, we're not happy about this, but how do we make it work? We would prefer you not do it. I never, ever expected the attacks. And I'm still, I'm still shocked and embarrassed.
So it's your argument that the Community College Board of Governors ought to take a look at whether or not Dr. Mosser was a good representative of the community college in the things he said this week?
Yes, they should look at what he said. I know some of those people on the Board of Governors, some of them I don't. I think they had to be shocked also as to what he said. I mean, again, going back, I understand they're upset. But anytime, we do things, there's always going to be some kind of reaction to the action. And we just have to try to do what's best for the city as a whole. And again, looking at a proposal is not a bad thing. Entering to a non-binding agreement or MOU is not a bad thing. We owe it to the taxpayers of the city of Wheeling to try to get tenants or sell off a portion of the OVMC. We owe it to them to do so. And just to come out blatantly and accuse us of these type of things, and again, we didn't approach them, they approached us.
Well, let's talk about that, because that's another bone of contention here. Dr. Mosser says that the city of Wheeling approached Bluefield State to see if they'd be interested in this. That is, in your mind, that is not the proper representation. Is that correct?
That is correct. I don't believe that the city manager, or the assistant city manager, or economic development department one day just said, "Hey, let's call Bluefield State up and see if they're interested in coming to the OVMC campus." I don't believe that happened. I believe Bluefield State, contacted us and said, "Hey, you're marketing this property. Would it be available for us?" And, to do a program. And if so, how would we go about it? And, so the first step is, entering the non-binding agreement to say, all right, if you're able to put this program together, then is it feasible? So So, we have to give them the yes or no that, if this is feasible, we'll give you the space. Not give, that's a bad word. But, we'll lease you the space. And it was portrayed to us that the program that they're offering is not available locally. And it was also portrayed to us that they wanted to do the engineering program and they wanted the students who need other core classes, such as history, English, so on, to attend the local colleges and universities to get those core classes. So, it was kind of a consortium issue that they wanted to do. And go ahead.
To me, one of the big questions, and you touched on it, Dave, is do the local colleges, Wheeling University, West Liberty University, or Northern Community College, do they now, currently, offer the same accredited coursework that Bluefield State is talking about offering up here? Now, as I read Dr. Mosser's comments, both at council and then some follow-up comments he made to some members of the media, I hear phrases like, we could create these programs, or we're able to create a program like this. But that, to me, is not the issue. The question is not, can you manufacture a program to do this? I'm sure they could. To me, the question is, do you currently, right now, have a program that is duplicative of what Bluefield State can do? Because if not, then they're bringing something new to the table. And I only know what I'm hearing from Bluefield State, which is that the local colleges do not have a similar accredited program.
And that's my understanding also. And if they were going to get one, it would take possibly a year, 2 years, 3 years to do something like that and to recruit the students, where Bluefield State could be in a position to be ready a lot sooner to this location.
Dave, let's take this to a larger, maybe more philosophical question, though. Does the city of Wheeling have some greater responsibility to actually protect those local institutions of higher education from outside entities coming in? Is there a greater obligation on the part of you guys to actually make sure that the locals are not harmed in any way?
Well, naturally, we don't want to harm the locals, but again, as I said, if they can bring students in to this program that otherwise might be going elsewhere or doing it online, and can offer more students to the area for the other classes that those students need, I think we're doing something to assist or help with the recruitment to the local colleges and universities, not the other way around. So we're bringing more students by bringing a different program that currently, that's the truth, it currently is not offered. So we're offering them more opportunities. I don't think we're harming them. I mean, that's my opinion, and I'm not an expert on colleges and universities, but I know they all compete against each other for students. So if we can bring a program here that could bring more students to the area, I think it could be a win for everybody. But some people just don't want to work with each other. They don't want to play nice. So, that's the part I'm, besides the attacks, that's the trouble I'm having understanding.
So let's just run down a couple things, make sure I've got it. Number one, obviously the attacks were very personal and therefore very hurtful, and I certainly could agree with that. That's just, as you said, I've never seen or heard anything quite like this in the years I've covered Wheeling City Council. I may have, but...
the attacks that were made by a college president, that's what's really astounding to me.
That's a good point. Yeah, sometimes you get I don't want to be pejorative, but sometimes you just get sort of an angry citizen who comes in and levels some things at you. But you're talking here about a very well-respected member of our community, a leader in the community, a PhD, president of a college who just was aggressive in his personal attacks. So, number one, there were personal attacks, and I just don't think there's any need for that. Then the second question becomes, is what he had to say about the cost factors true? And you're telling me that to the best of your ability, the answer is no, that there has been no agreement made, not even any real assessment of what kind of costs there would have to be to do a build out or what have you to improve the OVMC property to accommodate them. So when he says that it's going to cost $2 million a year, I think is what he said at one point. Yeah, the estimated undisclosed 1 year direct cost of revealing $2 million. There is nothing to indicate that's the case at all. Is that correct?
That's correct to the best of my knowledge, the best of my ability. I am not aware of any of those numbers. And again, we asked city staff. They were not aware of those numbers. So I'm not sure where they came from.
Also, again, trying to just run down some of the issues here. Dr. Mosser says that the city approached Bluefield State. City says, no, Bluefield State came to us. I know that Bluefield State says they have done a survey of some kind that indicates there is a need for this program here in the local area. So it makes sense to me that having determined there was a need, they would then come and say, how about, let's work something out. But the issue of who approached whom, city says we didn't reach out and say, hey, you want to come here, right? And I know I'm repeating myself, Dave, but I just want to kind of run these things down. Run these things down one by one.
That's correct. That's correct. We did not approach them. We were approached by them. We did not do a survey. They did.
The thing about this also that just befuddles me is, I don't want to sound like Rodney King, but why can't we all just get along? I mean, I don't know why the three local institutions and Bluefield State have to be at loggerheads with each other. I don't understand why it has to be a fight. There's got to be some kind of a discussion that can be held. And I gather there hasn't even been a discussion between the locals and Bluefield State. There's got to be some kind of a discussion that can be held, some sort of, I hate to use the word compromise, but some sort of an agreement that can be worked out that to make everybody happy. I don't know why this reached a flashpoint the way it did.
Well, again, the mayor had proposed the exact same thing that you said, and initially West Virginia Northern agreed to meet with Bluefield State and discuss this, and then came back and said, no, unless all three of us are on board, then none of us are going to be on board. So, basically the mayor was told, no, we're not interested. So, I mean, he has tried very diligently to get these parties together to say, can we come to some kind of workout compromise, and what can we do for the betterment of everybody? Not only the city, the university, the college, but the community. And that's what he's been striving to do, and it's just not working out right now.
You all went into executive session after the council meeting to discuss this a little bit. The impression I got is that if not unanimous, at least the consensus was to continue to pursue the MOU, as in continue to look at the options and the possibilities. Is that right?
That's what the mayor reported when we came out of executive session. Yes, we'll continue to look at the options.
Not to necessarily sign the MOU, but to continue to discuss the options that could be part of it. Again, I want to make sure I've got this correct, right?
Right. To be clear, we did vote 7-0 to go into a non-binding MOU. We as the mayor reported when we came out of executive session, we're still going to look, listen, and learn and see what's presented to us in the future, if anything.
Did the meeting on Tuesday night in any way, manner, shape, or form change your mind?
No. Again, I've been open-minded on this issue as I've tried to be on everything. So until you have the cold, hard facts in front of you, I really can't say I have a decision one way or the other. only thing happened Tuesday night was disappointment.
I got you. Dave, I appreciate your time this morning. Thanks very much. Always good to talk to you. And I have a feeling this story is not over. Well, I know it's not over and done with, because either you got to dispose of or agree to a long-term agreement. But I don't think the dissatisfaction of the local colleges and universities is going to go away. So it's going to be interesting to see how this whole thing plays out. But I certainly appreciate your time this morning, as I always do, my friend.
Oh, thank you for having me on this morning, Howard. And I really hope and I look forward to working with and doing anything we can support the local colleges and universities in this endeavor.
Gotcha. Appreciate it, Dave. Thanks a lot. Have a good day.
Thanks, you also.
Wheeling Councilman Dave Palmer, 6th Ward Representative, offering his thoughts after the council meeting of this week. A lot of personal attacks, a lot of anger, a lot of high tension. He says that maybe the community college ought to look at whether or not Dr. Mosser is who they want to represent them, given the way he presented himself at the council meeting this week. If you want to see exactly what Dr. Mosser had to say, the Intelligencer has a link to his entire notes, and I put a link to that Intelligencer page on my Facebook page as well, so you can check that out. We'll talk some more coming up in a minute or two, but first we'll check ABC. They've got the world for us next.
The Watchdog is FM 98.1, AM 1600 WKKX Wheeling, FM 97.7, AM 1370 WVLY Moundsville.
The ABC News is brought to you by Thomas Auto Centers, Mall Road, St. Clairsville. Get the best deal at Thomas Auto Centers.
I'm Brian Clark.
Okay, hopefully Cody Thompson coming up this hour. Now, let me look up something here, don't go away. Oh, where is it? Now, Erica had first said to me, how about Thursday, 9:10? I said, I'm reading from my notes here, let me switch that to 8:10 Thursday. She said, sounds good. So, I'm hoping she caught the second part of that and isn't going to try and call at 9:10. But I'm reading you my notes here. She says, great, how about Thursday at 9:10? I said, let me switch that to 8:10 Thursday. She said, sounds good. So, if she calls in the next hour, I've got Cody Thompson coming up next, so tell her sorry for any screw-ups, and I'll touch base with her again, if she happens to call. All right, I'm going to get some more coffee. I'll be back in a minute. Okay.